Okay, let's do that CMA real quick. Okay. I don't hear anybody calling your database. Great. Standing up for 2 hours, lead generating. And I'm gonna stand up for another hour and a half, teaching you all. We're gonna sit down for a minute. So at 11:30, I have my own accountability call with my mentor. So you listen in on that for a few minutes. Because having accountability or a mentor that you're responsible to report to is vital. Someone to hold you accountable to the activities that you say you're going to do, as well as coach you and help you where with stumbling blocks. Just give you a focus on the activities that you need to do. They talked about the not the 411, the 135. No, okay, don't worry about it. That's probably later. Right now you're drinking from a fire hose. Yeah, with information. And the key thing is to just take the bits and pieces that you can implement right now and put into action, and don't worry about everything else. You'll get it in time. Time on task over time wins everything. Can you repeat that? Time on task over time wins every time. That's the silver bullet.
How did you plan your mentor?
What's that?
How did you plan your mentor?
Well, he's the president of United Home Group that I belong to. He's a friend of mine, has been for years. And so when I personally was hitting a wall last fall, I reached out to him and said, I can't find business. I'm struggling. I'm having challenges. And so will you help me out? And so we started moving weekly. And since then, productivity has increased. And one of the things he said was for me to do my 135, which is one major goal. My one major goal is the income number I want to achieve. What are the three goals to getting to that main goal? What are the three areas that it's going to be? And it's, you know, FSBOs, expires, what have you. And then under those three things, there are 5 strategies in each one that you do. And it's by getting clarity of what you're going to do to find this. Because that's our job, is to find business. Right. It's not going to magically appear. You have to reach out and get it. Yeah. Is that you?
No, I think it's great.
Oh, okay, yes, that is. See, I have devices on me that beep when it's alerting me on something. I'm a type 1 diabetic, and so I have a continuous glucose monitoring system that communicates with my phone. So if my blood sugar gets too low, an alarm goes off. Then I also have a pod that delivers insulin that when it's expiring or when something's going on with that, it'll go off. Okay. Time for my meeting. Zoom meeting. Hey, buddy. Oh. There we go. I thought I clicked the unmute button. Now I did. Wait, I can't hear you. What's going on? Wait, is my volume up? Yeah, my volume's up 100%. You're not muted. There you are. You were muted. Yeah, good job. I'm doing all right. 15 contacts so far. Dialing, I've got a buyer. I've got a buyer calls. And that was over about an hour and 3/4 period of time. So close to 10. Yeah. It's not bad. Not bad. Yeah, a little legitimate buyer looking in the neighborhood, so follow with that message. Most of it's no. The turnover in that area that they're looking, less than 2%. That's an interesting way to look at it, yeah. And there are a lot of older people. One thing I run into a lot down here is they bought in the 50s for $20,000, $30,000, and now their house is worth over $1 million. And so a lot of them are going to be handing them down. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So I do run into that. And I ran into a lady yesterday, older lady, who said, well, I'm not saying yes, and I'm not saying no. So I had one person I was able to add to my database yesterday. Yeah, and last week, okay, so last week I had a total of 66 contacts, and I was able to find or earn 4 appointments, 3 buyers and 1 listing. Yeah. Okay, so I will tell you exactly why I was having more success last week. We are, and in fact, I'm in the Ignite class right now. I'm going to be teaching it as soon as I'm done with this call. You can't see them. However, I'm in the training room where I do my lead generation. And what we are doing is, as part of the Ignite class, they're supposed to be doing 2 hours of lead generation. So the person running it wisely said, let's start with that. From 9 to 11, do your lead generation. So I'm here in the training room doing lead generation. And starting last week, the Ignite students showed up. So I'm up here telling them this is what you do. So as I'm doing it, I better be doing it. So I would push 1 question more, ask 1 more question, push a little bit further in the contacts that I was making. And I believe that created, as you and I had discussed, that I do better when I'm in front of an audience with my own personal lead generation. Yeah, so that was the story there. Now the unfortunate thing is, and this happens every time, and you've seen it, the first week or the first few days they show up and there's a crowd. And then like today at 9, I was the only one in the room. Rochelle showed up. What time did you show up, Rochelle? 10:30. At least she showed up. But and there were some other ones out there. Your mentor should not be talking to you at 9 o'clock in the morning. You need to schedule that to 1 in the afternoon or later, or 11:30 or later. That's why mine's at 11:30, because Putty knows I'm going to be making my call. So anyway, so yeah. Yep. Right, correct, yes. Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, this is where I'm doing my lead generation, and it forces me to stand and make calls, yeah. Yes. Yeah, it's promoted, it's put out there, honey, you and I know. We've done this for years. We know what happens. There's enthusiasm at the start and people realize, oh, this isn't easy. Oh, it's hard. Oh, I'm accountable. Oh, darn, I'm not gonna go to that. Because nobody's making me, I don't have to.
So that's the next piece.
Yeah, yeah. They got into this business because there is no more mandatory. I get it, yes. You. Yep, exactly. Oh, I did get a buyer in the contract last. Yeah, 1.1 million. Yeah, so that's all right. That's all right, yep, yeah. And I'm meeting a pre-foreclosure who I was having a text conversation with, and it happened in this room. And he said, well, yeah, I was able to resolve the issue with the bank and I need some. And it was a rental, it's empty now, so I'm meeting him on Monday. Right, correct, right, yep, exactly. Yep.
So it's the recipe, this week next, 66 contacts.
Yeah, well, it's, yeah, I think, it might have been the show, you know, I can't even tell you what got in the way last week. And stuff can get in the way, so. Yeah, and my target is to get to 100. I did 19 yesterday, I'm at 15 today, so that should be doable. I can't do what that guy's doing, 66, 65 a day. That's a lot. 30 is even asking a lot. I mean, we talked about getting to 30. I don't know that I can or want to. I can if I wanted to. I don't know that I want to. So.
And the other side of that, I understand that.
Right. Correct. Yes. Right. Yes. So there you go. Yeah. Exactly. Correct. Right now I'm in bagel. Yeah, it does. Absolutely. Yeah. Tomorrow, set to appointments. That's so first part of the week are more difficult calls, more cold type calls. Latter part of the week, I'm yeah, correct. Yeah, and so yeah, the rest of the week will be more follow-up calls. Oh, I do have to prepare for the session I'm doing tomorrow as well. This afternoon. Yep. I gotta find a list that I can dial where people will actually answer. So that it'll be worthwhile doing live dials on that call. So boy, I'm hoping there's gonna be some for sale by owners. I can usually get them to answer or engage or respond. However, it's likely going to be a follow-up call list. Yeah. Right. Correct. Yeah. So, yeah. You know, there's nothing, I can't say I need this solution or thing. Oh, figure out how to get more sync leads. I've gotten one in the past 3 weeks. And I believe I've got a lender partner contributing to PPC. So I would think it would create something. Oh, by the way, the stuff, I applied to Timothy stuff, didn't really help, didn't do anything. Yeah. Left messages, sent texts, sent emails, no response. Yeah. Yeah. Had to give it a shot.
Yeah, exactly.
By the way, one thing I was discussing with my coach here was this gentleman who's making 65 contacts a day. It takes him 6.5 to 7 hours of dialing every day to get to that 65. And that's his personal number that he believes he needs to get to do the money he wants to do. And he's doing 2 million in gross commission a year. Yeah. Just over 2 million in gross commission. Yeah, the average price is 600,000. So you can do half that here in this market. I think our average is 8. Really, technically, it's around 8. It's about now, it's higher now. Yeah. Awesome. Cool. Thanks, buddy. Anything I can do for you? That was great. That was awesome. I hope Max enjoyed it. Awesome. Cool.
That's all good to see you.
All right, take care. All right, 10 minutes, under 15 minutes, just hit the important things. And there you go. That's what a conversation with your mentor should be like. It shouldn't be hours. Good morning, everyone. You all know me from sitting in this room lead generating, right? Yes, you do. Absolutely. Because what's our most important job every day? Correct. What does lead generation mean to you?
Getting in contact with people and staying top of mind.
I like that. Lead generation means everything. It means everything. I want something specific.
You can't find catching up because a lot of them have conflict and.
Your old contacts, what do you mean old contacts? Everything on your phone. They're all old? Define old. 40, 50, 60 years old. What's old for you?
I guess. High school and college.
High school and college is old?
High school and college days.
Gotcha. Giving you a hard time. No worries. Okay, so we are talking about growing our database, which we know that's vital to the business. Let me see what this thing says. Do we know why having a database is vital to the business? I see you shaking your head this way.
Yeah,
That's good. Why is it vital to the business?
it's important. That's where our patients come from. You know, people don't know. So
Mhm.
our spirit influence our salon.
Yep.
Also comes from that too.
Right?
That's where we make our money in our clients. So,
And there's an important thing I want you to remember. The fortune is in the follow-up. That first contact that you make with anyone, database or sell by owner, expired, whatever. That first contact will likely not result in business. Ever. Brian Tracy in the Psychology of Selling tape series, yes, tape series that I listened to 30 years ago said nothing happens until the 8th call. That means you have to hit somebody at least 8 times before they're going to take action. And most agents barely make the first call. And almost none do the second call. And nothing happens until the 8th call, and that gets brought up here in this class on. I think Gary Keller talks about 7. So you have to continually reach out to humans about the fact that you're real estate and that you can help them. The fortune is in the follow-up. It's not the initial call that's helpful, that'll get them into your database. And following up with them is really the key. If I can make this work. See what happens when I do that. Oh, look at that. Today we're going to grow your database. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I knew that. Activities to grow your database. Smart data bank. Anybody know what that means? A smart data bank sounds fancy, doesn't it?
Is it similar to a smart plan command or?
A smart data bank is basically that everybody in your database is in a specific category or specific place so that you're aware of what they are, who they are, and if they're going to do business with you. That's what means, what it means by being smart. We're going to talk about building your database, feeding your database, communicating with your database, servicing your database. Then we're going to reach out. Okay. And then we're going to talk about a system. All right. Well, I better just go through the information because I'll get off on tangents. I'll talk about whatever it is. Your database is your business. Somebody read that for me. Who's got a big booming voice like me? You do. Go.
Your database is
Thank you. Your first name is? Oh, Delilah. I wish I had read this when I first started in the business. Because I didn't learn this until many years later after I was doing business. When I started, I was working with a gentleman, this would have been 2001, 2002, that was generating leads from the interweb. And at that point, it was voodoo and witchcraft to most real estate agents. So he was having a great deal of success doing pay-per-click ads to get people to register at the website, put them into our database, and then we follow up with them. And they're predominantly buyers. And we would get in touch with the ones who wanted to do business and nurture the ones that weren't doing business right now and be able to sell houses. That's what we did. And then the market shifted. And other agents caught on to the fact that, oh, if you do this pay-per-click thing and have a website, then you can get business. And then there was a lot more competition for those clicks. The cost of those clicks went up. So we had to get away from that. We had to shift around and focus more on sellers. And what we didn't do, though, is really build the database in an intelligent way. You get the opportunity right out of the gate to start building your database in an intelligent way. And it's key. It is really key. I had to go back and redo mine. And it was painful and painstaking and awful. And it has to happen on a consistent basis. And I hate doing it. And it's vital if you're going to have success in this business. Okay, smart data bank. Let's see what that says about that. Your data, what is this? What is this saying about it? Oh, there we go. Okay, I like this. A database is a container that holds the contact information for all your leads and contacts. What is the information you have to have of every contact? And I like to refer to that as a record, every record in your database. What do you have to have? Perfect. Yes, that's what you need. What's the other piece of things that you, what is the other piece about them that you need to have?
Steve, they're just saying something.
Right. Is there any potential there at all that they're going to do business with you? Are they just a referral partner? Are they going to die in their house? Are they gonna be doing business? Are they an affiliate? I talked to somebody today as I was cold calling with I've got a buyer call that is a lender with Farmers and Merchants Bank, mostly commercial stuff. And he was a nice guy. He said, hey, yeah, you can send me your contact information and I'll send you mine, because you never know what will happen. Yep, right on. Now, will he feed me business? Probably not. Will I feed him some? Maybe. The key is that he's in my database. And he's someone that I can communicate with. And business could come out of that. So your data bank, okay, contacts are people you have a relationship with, they know you, you know them, and you have their permission to engage in communication with them. The people who make up your sphere of influence are considered your contacts. These people are golden. Now, if you have 500 people in your database, 10 will be golden. If you have 1,000 people in your database, 20, maybe 30 will be golden. Somebody was talking about the database and getting to 30 to 50 oh yeah, you weren't doing on this call. 30 to 50 people that are your main advocates that are going to refer you business without you even asking. That's, if you have something like that, that's super key. I've got a past client that refers me business. At least once a year, they're sending somebody to me. I closed someone, I'm working with another one right now that was referred by these people. Because we did a great job for them and they're happy. Make sense? No. Say yes. Okay. Which part of lead generation, which part of the lead generation and database model represents your database? So here's the here's the lead. This is the database right here. Lead capture. You capture a lead by prospecting and marketing. Y'all all know the difference between prospecting and marketing. Are you shaking your head this way, Michelle? What's the difference between prospecting and marketing?
I find new clients, new leads.
Right?
Marketing, you're marketing yourself out. You're putting your face out there, your business out there.
Prospecting, you are reaching out. Marketing, you're hoping they'll call you. Because you're putting out something that will hopefully get them to take action with marketing. And with prospecting, you're the one taking action, whether it's text, voice, email, social events, open houses, whatever. Activities that allow you to engage in a real estate conversation with a human being. That's prospecting. In the MREA, you all know what MREA stands for? Okay. The Millionaire Real Estate Agent book, written by Gary Keller 100 years ago, which is the basis of building a strong, solid real estate business. And it's still most 90% relevant today. In that book, Gary Keller said, your business should be marketing based and prospecting enhanced. In the shift, have you all heard the book Shift? When the market shifted back in 2006, 7, 8, 9, Gary Keller wrote Shift. And in that book, he flipped it. He said your business should be prospecting based and marketing enhanced. So the main core of your business is what? Correct. And how often should you be doing that every day? How long should you be doing that? It's actually, you should be doing it as long as you need to until you make the contacts that you need to each day. That's how long. That, like that guy I mentioned, he set a goal of 65 contacts a day. And so he had to go for 6.5 to 7 hours to get to that number. And so he can get to over 2 million in gross commission, not sales, gross commission. Would you like to make $2 million a year? Would you be okay with that? Okay, all right, so that's lead capturing. Then the leads go into your database, you form relationships. And you form new relationships and strengthen existing relationships. And then you cultivate them for conversation. And then they come out the other end as new and repeat business or referrals, and then they go back in. That rinse and repeat goes over and over again. Does that make sense? Does that picture resonate with everyone? Or is there another way of viewing it that resonates better for you personally?
I don't think so. I think this is the main thing.
Okay. By the way, I just used a great closing technique on you. You know what it is? Silent close. The silent close is powerful because you all got uncomfortable, didn't you? When I asked a question and stopped talking, you all got uncomfortable, right? And when you are meeting with a seller and you presented everything, and said, great, are you ready to work with me? Are you ready to move forward today? Let's go ahead and sign the paper. And you shut up, then that pressure of the silence forces them to speak or take action. And the first person to speak loses the battle. So never.
I lost.
Nah, it's okay. You actually won that one. Because I wasn't trying to get you to buy yourself. So. Yeah, the silent close. I want you to remember that one. It's gonna feel awkward. The first time you do it, it's gonna feel horrible. You're gonna feel pressure because what'll happen is we have already ready to do business. And they don't speak, they're thinking about it, they haven't said anything, and we feel awkward, so we go, but it's okay if you, and then you speak and then you lose. So that was the silent close. Okay. Yeah. Okay. How many of you are in command, have command up and running? There's 1, 2, 3, 4. All of you do. Great. How many of you have used the capability in your phone to export your contacts into command? 3 of you have? Okay. The rest of you have not done that. Okay, so for those of you that did that, what were the results? What's going on with that? Yes.
So with that, since usually when you have someone's number, you don't have an email too as well.
Right.
So automatically just when you import just their number. Yeah.
Yeah, the contacts that you have on your phone are probably sketchy at best. Because like my sister's in my phone is Aunt Becky,
Right.
all right, that's
Yeah.
not
say
her
like-
full name or whatever. Aunt Becky and her phone number and email would go into my database. All right, well, that's not really correct. You have nicknames of people, you have their phone number, that's probably it. So what do you do then? And
If they're interested in buying, selling, or investing.
okay, so and they say, well, I'll know, but of course, if I do, or if I hear somebody, I'll be happy to give you a call.
Is it okay if we keep in touch? Stay and follow up?
Sure, absolutely.
I'll let you state your stuff, yeah.
Yep, and then, great, what's the best email address for you? And in case I need to send you a birthday card, what is your birthday? And where do I send that? I tell you the address and the birthday. I'm giving you value, I want to send you a birthday card. Maybe there'll be a Starbucks credit in it, who knows? There might be something of value. So you give me something of value, your birthday and your address. You can just email it to me. You can. One of my mentees, Tim Hall, was saying he would have some of his contacts would say, I don't want to give you my. I don't know why. That can be absolutely, okay. The goal tracker, okay. There are some tools in Command that I don't use or know about. I'll be upfront with you, okay? The leads, the appointments under contract, the goal tracker capabilities. I don't use that. I don't know anything about it. That can be good for you to have clarity as to what you really have is really important. How many buyers are you currently working with? And are they in here and in Command as buyers? And where they're at in the process? And roughly what they're going to purchase for. All that capability you're able to track using Command. Okay, I personally don't use that, I use others. And that means they're revolving, okay. And some of you have not moved your contacts into Command. How are you getting contacts into Command? Those of you that have not done the exercise. Okay, so that means you are, what is manually for you? Delilah. You know it's an old song, right?
So I'll just like go back. And put the phone number, email, birthday.
So you're going in manually doing it. Okay,
Because I don't have like a. So. Plus my phone, I was able to export it for some reason. So that's.
okay. Do you have an Android?
No, I have an iPhone, but I think it was like an update problem.
Okay. So you attempted it and it didn't work, so you were just able to do it manually.
Yes.
Okay, so how many records do you have in your database right
Um,
now? 50. Okay. Cool. All right. Someone else that did not use the export, how are you getting records in there?
It's also manually, just like you mentioned,
Yeah,
my contacts are all first name,
Yeah.
nicknames, I got emojis on them.
yeah, oh yeah.
So I'm
So,
gonna go into the, clean it up.
Yeah.
And then transfer them onto.
yeah, absolutely. And it's painstaking, isn't it?
Yeah.
I hate it. And it's vital. You use the capability, right?
I did, but
And
all of my emails and names got split up, so it's like Auntie Connie and then like her email is like another account for some reason. So I'm organizing it like in Google Excel.
okay, yeah.
Organize how it is, like picking them, that off, and then I'm gonna send it again.
Okay, so basically you did it, but then you had to rip it out and put it in a spreadsheet. And you're gonna fix it on the spreadsheet and then you're gonna port it back in.
So I deleted it, so I technically don't actually have it.
Yeah. What I personally did is I downloaded an app called Contacts Number 2 Excel. And what it did is it pulled all of my contacts on my phone and put it onto an Excel spreadsheet. And then I was able to start at Aaron Anderson and work my way down and get correct or complete contact information. And then, once I had enough of that done, I could export, I could push it into another system. I use the Mojo Dialer as my follow-up system, and I have somebody that sends out the emails for me. So I update that, the spreadsheet, and just keep sending that to them. I have to do that today, that's right, there's another one coming out, thanks for reminding me. Because every couple of weeks when that email goes out, I added 2 to 10 people to my database. So that continually is being updated. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Christine, from you guys are better. She also told me about an app you can add to Command, kind of like a cloud base, so you can connect with your contacts. And then like, as you add them in, like it will take all your contacts from your contact app. And then just automatically something them to Command. And like if you make changes, it'll change it on Command.
Oh, that's cool.
I forgot what it's called exactly, but I'll probably check it out.
There's some wild and crazy technology out there. Here's what I want you to focus on right now. Call human beings that you know. And ask them for help with your business. Focus on that. Okay. All right. So is everybody in this room? Does everybody in this room have some contacts in Command? at this point?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. And is everybody in this room adding to those contacts every day that you work? Yes.
You, kind of, do you recommend Mojo Dialer? Cause my mentor mentioned another one. It's called Sales Tool. You, can I ask you to pay for a subscription for Mojo Dialer, or do you recommend just calling one by one?
So I started using the Mojo Dialer 18 years ago. Probably because we learned, my mentor at that time and I learned about this thing called circle calling that Mike Ferry taught. And so we were getting into that, doing that, and the Mojo Dialer was a great tool for that. So the Mojo Dialer is great if you've got a large list that you want to dial through. And it does the dialing for you, it connects you, and then you make contact. What do you need to focus on right now?
What do I need to focus on right now?
All you in this room, what do you need to what needs to be your focus right now? On the people that you know.
No,
Yeah, do you want to use the dialer to call the people that you know?
not necessarily.
You don't have to. Because the majority of them are gonna answer. And they'll have a conversation. Now, when you get done calling everybody, every record in your contact database, and you've got complete contact information of every one of them, great. Now let's go to the next step of how are you going to build or add to those records. So Lila has 50 right now. What do we need to get to? 201. So you need to add how many? It's not a lot. How many is it? One. 151. Correct. And if you were to add 10 a week, how long would it take you to get to 151? 15 weeks. Right? Is 15 weeks a long time? Yeah. So it's not that bad. It's just how are you going to find it? Correct? Right. Okay. 4 laws of a database. You have to build it. Most of you are right here right now. You're in the building stage. You're getting the people that you know who know you, who like and trust you, and you're beginning to add them to command. You're beginning to add them to your database with complete contact information. Getting them in there. 2 is to feed it every day. What does feed it every day mean to you?
Add at least 10 new contacts. Follow up with.
I'd be happy if you added 1. Yeah. Feed your database. Add more contacts to it. Communicate systematically with it. How do we do that?
Writing a newsletter and sending out.
Sending out an email, a newsletter, how often? Once a month. Okay, that's 12. That's 12 contacts in a month to your database. What is the magic number according to Keller Williams? 36. So a newsletter is one way. What's another way we can make contact with them?
Individual plans.
Hi, Rochelle, this is Bob. Does anybody come to mind that is thinking of buying, selling, or investing in real estate since the last time we talked? Great, would you be offended if I check back with you in a couple of weeks to see if you run into somebody at work, church, or school? Great, thanks. You can do that once a quarter or even more often than that. So there's 4. Okay, so we communicate with, and what's the tool for communicating with it systematically? Well, one of the tools is the phone. Command has what in it? That smart plans that will automatically send out emails based on time of year, some kind of content or what have you that's pertinent or appropriate. So it's going to send that stuff out. Here's one thing. I don't care what that email. I don't care what's in the email. I get an email every 2 weeks from the person that does and handles my email communication. I never read it. I don't care what's in it. Because all that matters is Bob Wielaka comes across their email box every 2 weeks. Because they're not reading it either. Only a few people have ever opened it, read it, and said, hey, this is interesting, thanks. Yeah, so don't worry about what those smart plans, the content that's in those smart plans. That's not important. Your name coming across their email box is what's important. And finally, servicing all the leads that come out of that database. Because once you build that database and communicate with it, it will begin to communicate to you and say, hey, I did run into somebody, or I have a need, or something happened. You go, great. Let's get together, let's meet, let's talk about that, or give me the contact information of that person that's showing an interest, and I will reach out to them and get some fun. And stay on top of them. If anyone ever says to you, hey, I know somebody that is, here's the phone number of somebody that's talking about buying or selling, give them a call. Call them immediately. Do not wait, do not hesitate, because that person is going to do something. And if you don't reach out to them right away, they're going to find somebody else. Somebody will come across their path. You know how many real estate agents there are in our market? You can't throw a rock without hitting a real estate agent around here. So they'll find somebody else if you don't reach out immediately. Anytime you get a referral, reach out immediately. Okay. Have I belabored that? No. All right. Any ahas from what we've just discussed? Yes.
When you're building your database, kind of, in a column of like, what are the key fine or not important, like sure you know with a friend, like, all my friends are like 25, like they can't buy it yet, so.
Yeah.
Even, yeah, if their parents might or their grandparents might, so, kind of, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Yes. All your friends that are 25, chances are they're not going to be doing anything unless they stumble across a bunch of money or what have you. Their parents maybe, or grandparents maybe. So, and they may know somebody else. Yes. So yes. And then being able to put them into the right category. So I think we'll be covering that next. Okay, thank you. The rest of you didn't learn anything else. Build your database. Building it at a minimum, each contact, we covered this, you should have name, contact information, past business record. I guess if they've done business with you in the past, like I have in my database, I've got all my past clients in a group, in a category. And so I can always pull up that list and communicate with them, hey, what's going on, what's happening, who do you know? I also choose to put people in, it's technically 6, 3 different categories. Hot, they're doing something in 30 to 60 days. Nurture is doing something within a year. Watch is going to be a year or longer. And I've got buyers and sellers. And some crossover because they have to sell their place in order to buy. So I have everybody in one of those 6 places. Sometimes 2. Hot, nurture, watch. And in my database, I can go into my watch buyers category and dial through them. And segment it so that if I haven't dialed them in the last 90 days, it will dial them. Okay, so that's building a database, which you're all are doing. Have you all heard of Ford? What does Ford stand for? Oh, strengths. Greens. Correct. a board is a way that you can get into a conversation with someone. For those that are worried about asking people for business, now it allows you, hey, how's your family? And what line of work are you in? And what do you do when you're not working? What do you do on the weekends? And what are your hopes and dreams for whatever's coming up in the next few years? It's a way you can dig deeper into what they're about and what's going on with them. That I don't. I mean, I might get to that stuff. I personally, there are relationship agents and there are transactional agents. Some agents really want to dive into and develop those relationships with their people. I want to do a transaction and help them achieve their goal that they want to achieve. So I don't dig deeper into the Ford stuff. That's just me. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. That's just who I am. They hired me to be their agent, not their friend. And ideally, when we're all done, now to my friend, because I did the job for it. Okay, that's my own personal perspective. It doesn't have to be yours. Both work, both are right. Okay. Yeah, getting that birthday information, that could be important. Yeah, I mean, this is the easy way to make the contact management command app. Blah, 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 blah. We talked about that. Okay. Akanola Jake Spawn. That's an interesting name. Yeah, okay. So you all are in command, you know how to work it. And do that. Or are you running into any challenges with command? Other than your stuff getting ripped apart? Did you talk to Carlos about that?
No, Scott Roy, like his team's the one that put it in, man, so I was just gonna email them again.
Yeah. Why not?
Still organizing it, I got like 300 contacts.
You got 350 contacts off your phone? Okay, get. And are you dialing that list every day? Is that a no?
No,
And the reason you're not is?
I'm organizing it still. And then I have expires to them, both calling, so.
Oh, forgetting me expires. Oh, no. Your database is key. Don't get ready to get ready. Start having conversations. One of my mentees made an appointment with a buyer, someone that she met was talking about buying, and booked a buyer consult in Zoom and had no idea what she was going to do or say. I went, yep, I got this. You want me to drive it or do you want to drive it? So I want you to drive it. Okay, no problem. Got on the Zoom and I took them to a buyer consult with her watching it, listening in. I will take someone that will jump out of the plane without a parachute. Because the parachute will appear. If you set an appointment to meet with a buyer or a seller and you have nothing and no idea what you're doing, guess what? You're going to figure it out if you have to. And if you have a mentor, they'll be able to help you approach it. So I would encourage you to call. Don't wait until it's organized. Call them and organize that one record when you have them on the phone. When you hang up the phone, then organize that record. Because now you've got first name, last name, phone number, email address, and birthday. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay, cool. And 350 is a great number. All right. Anything, you get anything from that? Anything, Bueller, anyone?
The watch, nurture, and last thing was.
Hot. Nurture. Watch. Hot is 30 to 60 days. Nurture is within a year. Watch is longer than a year. And they will flip around. You'll put somebody as a nurture to begin with, and they're going to turn to hot. Or they're going to turn to watch. And a watch will move up to nurture, or they'll move up to hot. They're going to move around as you communicate with them and talk. Anyone else? Bueller? No. Okay. Feed your database. by prospecting and marketing, your sphere will generate new, repeat, or referral business. Yes, it will. Let me see if there's anything here that I'm missing to say. Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Who might your sphere refer to you? Okay. Where do those possible clients exist? Friends of friends. Could they be neighbors? Could they be friends at church? Friends at work? Could they be someone they ran into at some kind of social event? And if you are top of mind with that person when they run into them, there's an opportunity for that referral. And how do you stay top of mind with those people? Contact, communicate with them. Okay. We all know a whole bunch of people. There's a stat that says every human being knows 5 people that will do a real estate transaction every year. And you probably heard me say when I was doing some dialing last week, to some of the contacts that I made of people that I know, say, yeah, they say everybody's those 5 people, so I'm going to stay in touch and find out which 5 you know. And that's just a little trigger for them to go, oh yeah, now I gotta look for 5. Maybe I'll even get to 6. It becomes a competition for them to find the 5 for you. Or do even better. Hey, I got 6. You win the prize. What was the prize? How do you ensure that your sphere will refer you?
Like you were saying earlier, it's called them to see, so you following up with this, then or someone else that they know and they're interested.
Who do you know? Right. Asking for a referral. Who do you know that might be thinking about buying, selling, investing in real estate right now today? Do you know that follows out of my mouth? I don't normally ask it that fast, unless I'm talking to a high heat. Like me. And let's move the topic around. How many of you have heard of the disc? Oh, Delilah has. Nobody else has heard of the disc? You know what yours is? Your disc profile? If you go to the Tony Robbins website, you'll see a link for DISC, D-I-S-C. And what that does is it tells you behaviorally where you line up. D is driver. Let's move, don't waste my time. I is intuitive, empathetic. I is the life of the party. Let's have fun, let's whatever, do things. S is steady, human resources, people, administrative staff. They want everybody to get along, they want everything to work together soon. That's an S. And a C is compliant. C is the numbers people, the engineers, the accountants, where the numbers, the details are what's important to them. And knowing how to communicate to those various styles is key. That's a different lesson and an advanced lesson altogether. DI. So I move, I go, let's go, and I'm also, I can have fun and be social. I don't like it, I can do it though. Oddly enough. Oh yeah, testimonials and reviews. Yeah, I'm not great at getting, actually, I had to do it for something that Fred was doing. To get a Google business place up and running, I had to get some reviews. So I just asked my clients for some reviews. And they went in and did it. we're happy to do it. You can use, there's Zillow has a tool that you can use, you send them a link and they'll fill that out. So yeah, ask. Now, do you have anybody that can give you a review right now about your real estate? You do? Who, have you closed something? Okay, all right, so you have closed some business. Did you get a review from those people? It's a good idea. Absolutely, and to have those in your database. Those are also things that you can add to your listing presentation. That, you know, the stuff that people say. You put that in there. Because then refer participant guide. You have a participant. I don't know what that is. They can even, and people that you know really well, that are willing to help you out, they can just write a review about you personally. I know that Rochelle is a solid person, reliable, trustworthy, and does great work. Okay, and I know Delilah was named after a song, and so she's got that going for her, which is nice. But so you can give testimonials, reviews right now, just based on the character of the person that you are, from people who you're very close to, and they'd be willing to do that. Now, where you put those reviews, not sure. Is there somewhere in command that can happen? Maybe. I don't know. On your website, if you have a Yelp page, again on Zillow, if you can have a Zillow account, and I would set, you can actually, when you close a transaction, it appears on Zillow, and then you can take that link and send it to the person that you had, whether buyer or seller, and then they can write a review for you on there, and it's attached to that. If you go to my Zillow webpage, there's 12, 15, 16 different reviews in there. One bad. That was a jerk. I got 10,000 over this list price. This was 8 years ago. Yeah. All right. So are we at responsiveness, attention to detail, professionalism, empathy, care, communication, business and customer service? Would you ask them to provide a testimonial review on? And again, these are all things that they can say about you now. They do what they say they're going to do. They're trustworthy, they're responsive, they communicate well. So any of those things can be done right now without ever having done real estate. All right. Okay. Bueller, anyone? Thank you. Yes. Have you even thought about getting reviews or testimony? So that's an aha. And that helps build your credibility, especially online. I see people post on Facebook, agents post on Facebook. Hey, I closed this transaction. Here's what they had to say. Here's what this happy family did. There's a place you can do it, or Instagram, or Twitter, I guess. You can absolutely do those there. And social media. Okay. We're communicating with our database now. Delilah, you want to try that again?
High level of space L, you must commit to frequent contact with the database with the intent of building close relationships.
There you go. Make sense? Yes. Yes. Communicate systematically. Segment your database based on interest, passion, etc. Now, yeah, this talks about doing this. I personally, I couldn't do this. This would just be painful. However, can you put your database into different categories of their interests? You're getting into the foreign conversation now. Okay, so yeah, if you have 100 people in your database that are dog lovers, can you send out content that is more pertinent to the dog lovers than would be pertinent to the golfers? Yes, you can. And Command probably allows you to do that, basically tag each record with something like that. Now that way, I've got all the golfers, and I've got all the military, and I've got all the dog lovers in different groups. So the dog lovers get a different smart plan than the military, than the golf. You can do that, that is possible. I personally would. Painful and painstaking. And I don't use Command, and I don't want to do it. That's why you heard me on my coaching call with my mentor, my coach, saying, I can't get to the 30th day. I don't want to. I said, okay, so you're choosing to do less business. I said, yes, I am. Because I don't want to do that. And I'm choosing to have less business because I'm unwilling to do this. Okay, that's your choice. It's your business. That's the beautiful part. And if you're not willing to make contact with your database, build a database, communicate with it, then you won't have any business. So then you can go do some other business. Sound good? Yeah. Was that rude enough? Okay, let's see what this one says. Okay, yeah. Review of golf courses for neighborhood market stats. If it's an investor, dog lovers, whatever. It's basically saying that you can deliver content specific to the needs of that group if you have them segmented in that way. Okay, communicate with value. Leads 19 to connect. 4 touches, quarterly phone call, 12 touches, monthly email, your newsletter. 2 touches, promotional, direct mail, magnet, calendar, whatever, 1 touch, annual event. These are leads. These are people that are not necessarily you make great contact with. I believe is that is the category of that. And you're going to dig deeper in the 19 to connect in a different one. 1 to cement, a high value touch that solidifies the relationship you have just established and opens the door to future interactions. For me, that 1 to cement would be an appointment. Whether on Zoom or in person with a buyer or a seller. That would be my 1 to cement. I want to get in front of them and have face-to-face communication. All of my dialing that I do, the purpose of that is to create an appointment, earn an appointment. And then 36 touch. Once they are in your database, the 36 touch, no, I don't want to do that. There we go, 36 to convert. 4 phone calls. Can you all do 4 phone calls to your database every year? Does that sound hard? Say no. 26 touches, bi-weekly email offering some type of information of value to the consumer. So every 2 weeks, an email goes out about it's the springtime time to make sure your AC and HVAC is working. And oh, by the way, I have a relationship with an HVAC company that if you use them, they'll give you 20% off their inspection or whatever. Is that of value? Yeah, so you're giving value to the HVAC company and you're giving value to your database. 2 touches, events, get-togethers, parties. Years ago, we would do a zoo event for our database of clients. And it was a lot of fun. It was pretty cool. 4 touches, promotional, direct mail, magnet, calendar, market report. So this one right here, by the way, can you, people that own a home, can you email them a market value report every quarter? How long would it take you? Couple of minutes. And then you email to them. Hey, just wanted to let you know, here's where your market value is. that has created business for some agents. They let people go, wow, I didn't realize it was that much. Now, does everybody have access to Zillow, Redfin, Trulia, blah, 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 blah? Yeah, so most people know what the market value of their home is. And coming from you with a link to a market value report might be more powerful than them. They might not have looked in a while. So there's, how much does that cost you to do that? You gotta pay for MLS anyway, so might as well do that. How many of you have done a comparative market analysis? Rochelle has. You ish have.
Yeah, because Michelle showed me a little bit of it. Still learning.
Michelle Brown and her band of renown. Love Michelle. She's awesome. Cool. All right. If you haven't, go do one. Does everybody have access to MLS? Raise your hand if you have access to MLS. Okay, good. Go get an address and do a CMA. And then use Cloud CMA to put together the package. Now, in Cloud CMA, there are a couple of pages you're going to have to customize. About you, your marketing plan, testimonials. So go in there and build that. Because then you'll have something that you can email to people as well as print out and bring to an appointment. Okay, I use Cloud CMA all the time. I think Scott Leroy has a whatever package in there, so it all ties together. So yeah, this used to be a 33 touch. Gary Keller upped it by 3. In the MREA, it's 33. Really? Am I at the end? Okay, there we go. Oh, yeah. Talking about how you can move it from your phone to the import. Yeah. Okay. Which we know worked brilliantly for you, right?
Yeah.
What's your first name again?
Tiana.
Tiana, I knew that. I just forgot it. Okay, any revelations from that last bit?
Reaching out to
Tagging them by various categories. Yeah, and reaching out to them with content that's specific to them. One can do that. A person can do that. You're right. Service your database. Someone other than Delilah. Yes, sir.
The job is to build a community. So,
Beautiful. That's an interesting way actually to look at it. Your database is a community. It's a community of people who know, like, and trust you and want to help you with your business. Remember, people at our core, most decent human beings want to help other people. Right? There is a small segment that are takers that they want to take. Most people, I believe, are either matchers or givers. And the people who know, like, and trust you want to help you. And they just need to be directed how they do that. Okay. Service all leads. Plan for a lead follow-up program to leverage every opportunity. Okay, so yeah, in Command, you've got opportunities, campaigns, consumer. So there are tools in Command to help you leverage that, organize that, and manage all of that. I personally, using the Mojo Dialer, I have every day, I have follow-up calls that I schedule to make based on the last conversation I had with that person. And so every day I do my lead generation from 9 to 11, and then my follow-up happens after that. And those are, I will get more context with my follow-up calls than I will usually with the cold type calls. So that's the tool that I use. You need to have a tool that reminds you to make the call. We've talked about the strategy of asking your database, who do you know that might be thinking about buying, selling, or investing in real estate? Oh, of course I'd refer you, I'd be happy to, blah, 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 blah. Well, you know, now that I brought that up, you're probably gonna run into somebody or somebody will come to mind. Would you be offended if I checked in with you next week to see if who's come to mind? And they will say, no, I will not be offended. Now you need to have a reminder to call them a week later, like you said you were going to do. So that when you call them a week later and say, hey, we spoke last week, I'm following up as I promised to do, to see who has come to mind. And when you do that, what are you? Trustworthy. I did what I said I was going to do. I cannot tell you how many times I've heard when I followed up 6 months later, the person say, oh, wow. Yeah, we spoke 6 months ago, and at that point you were here in your process and talking about that. Where are things now? Wow, you keep good notes. Guess what? They just hired me right then. Okay, so command can help you organize that. Command, okay, that's quick. Good. We're gonna be done before 1. You're okay with that. Anything you got out of that?
I guess just making sure that trust is there with the client and those follow up with like times. That was a big
Good. Right on. That one is a key one.
That's not-
We think, oh yeah, I'm just making a follow. By the way, and every sales conversation with a commitment from the other party when the next conversation will occur. And every sales conversation with a commitment from the other party when the next conversation will occur. Whether it's a meeting or a phone call or an email or a text or a whatever. You get their commitment that yes, we will speak again next week. So that when you follow up next week, as you said you were going to do, and as you both had committed to do, you build that trust. What are other ways that we can, what are ways we can build trust? Yeah, it's not easy, is it? Right? Is that an easy thing that you can do to build trust? Yes. Thank you. All right, 4 laws of the database: build it, feed it, communicate with it, and service all leads that come out of it. Then feed them back into the system. Trust in your database. Follow the 4 laws. Don't quit too soon. Time on task over time wins every time. You will hit walls. One of my mentees, Tim, the other day was saying, man, there's just some days I just don't want to do it. Guess what, folks? I hit walls where I'm making contact or I'm dialing, I'm making effort to make contact. I'm talking to people, I'm getting hung up on them, getting my butt kicked, getting people that say they're gonna do something and they don't. That happens to all of us. And you have to find the way to just keep going. Keep making contacts. Because when you feel you are at the end, that's when the business will show up. It just does. Sorry. The 36 Touch campaign takes time to yield results. There is no silver bullet. Don't let anybody sell you a silver bullet. Yeah, just pay me $99 a month and y'all put this system on your phone that'll blow up your business. You'll get all kinds of leads. I've done them. They don't work. Build your database and communicate with it. Think long term. Sorry, those of you sitting in this room, some of you are going, I need to get paid. I need to make money. So do I. Think long term. Always come from care and service. If you show that you care, it will come through. If you show there's an agent I know who I role play with. Solid agent. I hear in her more concern about her paycheck than the client. I think that can get in her, that person's way. Care more about them and their needs and helping them than your paycheck. Because they can smell commission breath. And the real estate business is a relationship business. I mentioned I'm a transactional agent. Okay, yes, and I do build relationships. Just not to the level that a lot of people. Okay. What is something that you got today that you will implement in your business today? Yes.
I like when you said, just a way of trust and showing that you'll promise to do something with that person. And it's as simple as, let's talk tomorrow, next week on Tuesday, I'll call you.
Come on, it's fine.
Of course, but it's just 3 days, and really a lot like being trustworthy and,
Yeah.
Doing that, I'd love to do that. Like tomorrow.
That's something you can do now. When you have a conversation with somebody in your database, you can say, great, I'll check back with you next week about that. Is this kind of good? Yes. What is Michelle using command?
Yes.
Okay, so you're able to put that in command. Whatever with that.
Yeah.
Cool, good, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Fortune is in the follow.
Yeah. It really is. What was the saying Brian Tracy said on the Psychology of Selling tapes I listened to 30 years ago? On cassette tape in my car. Nothing happens until the 8th call. So good. What else? What is one thing that you heard that you're going to implement today? And 2 response. You can do another one if you want.
Another one like this, I want to send you a gift for your birthday, which I sent it to.
Right. I want to send you a card. I want to send you something on your birthday. Where do I send it? That's how you get somebody's address. Because you're giving value. You get value back. Yes, sir.
What we spoke about earlier about reaching out to your contacts and updating the report, that's very important to me right now, so.
Yeah, that's
I
fine.
focus on that.
Yeah, and yes, do that. Whether it's on an Excel spreadsheet, whether it's in command, whether it's on something, some kind of tool that allows you to get complete contact information in an organized place of those people, for those people. That's really the key. Yes, ma'am.
Not waiting, like looking at everything before I like, so, calling my friends now and, yeah. Be all right.
Yeah, thank you. Don't get caught in getting ready to get ready. I've seen people do it. There was this one lady that went to every single class I ever taught, went to every class that was taught at the market center. Never did e-business. Would just go to classes. We would get ready to get ready. I will take somebody that will pick up the phone and make a mess any day. We can clean up messes. If we don't have a mess to clean up, we can do. Rochelle, what did you learn that you were going to implement? Consistency. What did that mean for you?
To continue to do it, to continue to contact people, continue to build relationships.
How many contacts are you going to make each day? When I spoke to her earlier, she said, I'm funny tonight. That's not bad. It's not bad. Great, didn't it? Take however long it takes you. Then when you get to 10, or let me get to 12. How about that? Okay. Absolutely. Oh, Delilah. You love that I do that.
I do a lot, so I'm used to it.
Okay. So it's not new? That was the first time you heard it?
Finally, yeah.
Okay, good. All right. Yeah. helps give clarity to them. Absolutely. Hello, Michelle.
She was saying about categorizing it, but also I haven't, exported my contacts into command, so that it's like the next step. And then categorize.
How are you going to get them to?
Well, right now I'm just doing it manually,
Okay.
but I'm gonna do the spreadsheet, I can. Absolutely. Export everything.
There's two possibilities here. If you have command on your phone, I'm told that it'll pull the people, your contacts, and put them into command. I've been told that. Tiana did it and it made a mess.
Yeah, I don't know. But, I'm giving stuff from. I reached out. and just-
What did it,
Oh,
what
so you
did it-
just have
what
Scott
did
do
it do
it.
though? What happened?
So it just split my like, the names of people and their emails, and it made it a contact for each other, so I had to go back in that, I was like. But, and then my contacts too, of them, all of them. So I just sent him my Excel sheet, and literally when the first couple of days, they told us it's gonna be an Excel sheet. Import from our home.
They'll do it.
Yeah.
Also heard that, maybe take off like all the other agents' information, you know, you already have. That people can build that database, that's not necessarily your contact sheet.
Right.
Or command path also.
But my recommendation, and I tell this to every new agent that walks in the door, if you have an iPhone, download contacts #2 Excel app, 99 cents. Takes your contacts and converts it into an Excel spreadsheet. And you take that spreadsheet, you just start at A. And you get first name, last name, phone number, email address, physical. And by the way, who do you know this about buying or selling or investing? Does that question fall out of your mouth easily at this point? Let me hear it.
Who do you know?
Mm-hmm.
Who do you know that is just combined selling?
In what? That you can help? It might fall out of your mouth, but it partially fell out. Who else does it, who else's mouth doesn't fall out of easily? For shows? You're typing.
It's starting to.
Guess what? Time on task over time wins every time. The more you say it, the more comfortable you will get with saying it. And if you are comfortable saying it, your database will be comfortable sharing information. If you say it from fear, they will pick that up, they will sense it. It's really true. I may think in my head, I'm fine today, I'm happy go lucky, I'm whatever, and if I'm not on my game though, it comes to go. It becomes clear, and it'll be the same for you. So I want you all to say it with me right now. 1, 2, 5. Who do you know that is thinking about buying, selling, or investing in real estate that I can help today?
Who do you know that is buying, selling, or investing in real estate that I can help today?
You know that is thinking about buying or selling or investing in real estate, I can help today.
You are.
Who do you know, that is thinking about buying or selling and investing
Or
or investing in real estate that I can help today?
Who do you know that is thinking about buying, selling, or investing? Who do you know that is thinking about buying, selling, or investing in real estate that I can help today?
Who do you know that is interested in buying, selling, or investing in real estate that I can help today?
he's interested, and that's totally fine. He's customizing it for him, and that's all right, because the core of it is there. Do we ever ask, do you know? Never. Who do you know? So, yeah, get comfortable saying that. If that falls out of your mouth to another human being 20 times a day, 5 days a week, you will find business. What's my saying about time on task? Exactly. Okay. I'm done babbling. Any questions? Yes, sir.
What if someone says, yes, I want to invest, what do you do? What do you think?
Great, let's get together and talk about what you want to invest in.
Get together.
Let's get together. What I have found is if the person on the other end of the phone or conversation asks, how do you do that? How do you make that happen? That is a perfect opportunity to close on the point. That's exactly why we should get together. So I can show you how we can make that happen for you. I know you were trying to sell your house for 1.2 million, and it didn't happen. What if I could make that happen for you? How would you do that? That's exactly why we should get together. So I can show you how we can do that. Do you have a way right at that moment? Probably not. And I just made an appointment. So guess what? I'm gonna get to work and figuring out how to make that happen. Yes,
When you have a potential client, like yesterday I had a buyer consult with my mentor, my
Great.
client. What is too much in reaching out? Like, when it's past like the 36 touches and everything after like helping buy his house or whatever is happening, like what's too much? Cause like I texted him yesterday, then I texted him again this morning, like, is that too much? Cause we're setting up a next meeting, and Lamar's like, you need to make sure you set up that next like time to speak to him, like in person this time. What do you recommend to that aspect?
you learned a great thing from me today. I'm sure you didn't repeat it in the ahas. What did I say about ending every sales conversation
In a follow-up
with a commitment
meeting?
from both parties to when the next conversation will take place? You probably didn't know that yesterday when you had that meeting.
Yeah.
So you ended the sales conversation with, yeah, let's set up another appointment, or let's set up an appointment, so do whatever. Okay? Great, I will call you tomorrow at this time. Will that work for you? I will call you Friday at this time. I will call you next week at this time. Will that work for you? Or better, great, our next step here in this process is to have an appointment to do whatever it is you're gonna do. Are you available in the afternoons or nights and weekends better? When they answer that question, they've agreed to the appointment.
Okay, he answered to that.
And what did he say?
He's a teacher, so we
Yeah.
can.
Great. So let's go ahead and pencil in, this is a Brian Tracy thing. When we used to use pencils and paper calendars, let's pencil in Saturday morning at 10 o'clock. Will that work? Yes, that'll work. Great, thank you. Or I don't know, I gotta check with so-and-so, I gotta check with my wife, or I gotta check my schedule, I gotta do that. Great. Let's go ahead and pencil it in. If we have to, we can move it. Okay, now you've got it on the calendar. Now you've set it up. And I love, and people still understand pencil it in, even though we hardly use pencil. Let's just put it in pencil. Right? And what is too much? When they tell you, knock it off, it's too much. Yes, Lawrence.
The question, I'm stuck with several people now, with at least two guys. They want to buy. And I said, well, how much you can qualify?
Right.
But they don't know. So I said, I give them a number to call credit, I think that's.
Fernando,
I mean, I gave you credit.
can you hear the drums, Fernando?
Yeah.
Do you have a song?
So nothing happened. So,
Yeah.
he called, said he called him, he didn't get a call back. I called him, I didn't get a call back. So now I'm stuck in limbo for the next week or so. You're trying to make that happen.
Uh-huh.
I called him, I guess, did you call up? Yeah, I called him. Nothing. Didn't come and call. So is there anyone else I can call?
Chris Rivera.
Chris?
Chris Rivera. He's right in there. Fernando's usually really good about follow-up.
Okay.
Yeah, Fernando's usually on top of it. And I can promise you that person did not call for him.
Well, I know I called twice.
You called Fernando twice?
Yes.
And
Just
Fernando
not
didn't
enough.
call back to you?
Yeah.
He didn't. Okay, well, hand it over to Chris and see if Chris will follow up. I have found Fernando is, because Fernando has a couple of people in his office that do a lot of the back end stuff. So he can be more customer facing. Chris handles everything. However, I give business to both.
Is he good?
Yeah, I saw him.
Yeah, you know what, I did see him earlier. Yeah, go introduce yourself to him, and then go to your contacts and say, hey, that other guy didn't respond here, try this guy. And then you follow up with them every week. I have a lot of follow-up calls in my database, people that say, yeah, I want to talk to the lender, and they don't. It's their timing. It's not yours. They'll do it when they're ready, and they want to do it. All right, anything else? I have an answer.
When someone tells you they're interested in buying, how can you like, essentially like quantify them to see if they're serious or not? Like
Yeah.
moving forward from that conversation, once they tell you they're interested in buying.
Oh, great, tell me more about that.
I'm not interested in
That's
buying.
the question you can ask them if this is they're interested in buying. Yeah, interested in buying. Great, tell me more about that. Well, I'm looking for this, that, and the other thing. Okay. If we could wave a magic wand, when would you be in that home? Okay, great. Are you familiar with the steps of home ownership? Have you purchased a home before? No, great. That's exactly why we should get together so I can take you through the home buying process. Get you connected to a lender so that we can get you into that home in that time frame that you want.
Instead of me.
Always set up a meeting.
First time home buyer program.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll get that. That's the first.
And there are some good programs. That can help people out, yeah.
Yeah, I sent one guy that info. Park that we was off the.
Info Parks, yeah.
Buying those. And he started out telling them, look, there's never.
Oh, yeah, you were asking the question, how do you share with them that? Hey.
Yeah, I use that. So
Yeah.
he was satisfied when he saw the graph. I said, what did you buy your home? So this is 2018 to 2023.
Yeah,
Look how much, I mean, it's dipped in that, but it's still going up.
yeah, correct.
I said, what did you buy a home? He texted me back in 2015. So you've got hundreds of thousands of real estate equity in your property right now. You don't even know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's now is a good time. As you can see, the graph is going up. So you pretty much drop the ball. Okay, well, what do we do? I said, you got to call my guy.
Yeah,
See how much you can afford.
Yeah.
But he didn't jump across and I'm gonna jump.
okay, and you gave him the data that he needed to go, oh, I see, okay,
He couldn't say anything.
right. Don't say, oh, I think it's gonna go down. Well, great, you can think all you want, it's not going to. All right, anybody else? Bueller, anyone? Bueller? No. Great, all right, good job, everyone. Call your database. Build your database.
Thank you.
Communicate with your database. I'm out.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, he's right here. I saw him walking by, he's sitting back, I think he's stepped it up a little bit.
Yeah, we're,
You can send me on down.
well, like,
Yeah, you can do so.
That's his office. You still walk right every day. You wonder like, oh, okay.
yeah,
So you think it's
No, I wouldn't do things today, but still. But it-
Me too. Skip this. 40. I get a punishment.
I think just, you know, just try again.
I'm probably go upstairs with a private. Bang away at it.
Yeah, I'm not leaving yet. I'm gonna go grab some lunch really quick, then. All right. I have work later. I don't have one with break.
And-
I only-
You didn't come up to go into Woodbridge.
Yeah. Later. Yeah. You're fine.
All right.
So.
no. I haven't signed it.
I said, yes, and it's been kind of really-
Well,
Let's go back and sign in on your.
I don't think it's a day.
You have to.
Nice to meet
Shake
you.
hands and-
Nice to meet you.
Yes, part of it.
I do. No, I'm supposed to have it away. Nice to meet you. Boy.
See, how you doing? How's it going? Good. Making progress. You have any, thoughts or wisdoms you have from today or anything that's great?
Well, for me today, like just with lead generation. Like look at your full contact that you kind of like start or do contact first. So I have this idea of like dividing in groups of like, what's the best strategy for like. Touch base with certain people, it looks like all of them, like social media, sending the text, calling them, and like visiting them.
Right.
So I pretty much have my whole contact list and
Nice meeting you.
bye, take care.
Thanks.
And just categorize them and just, that way I know what to do for the point.
Good way to do
Take
it.
your scene.
Yeah, I think that's a smart way to do it.
Yeah, so now I can have a connected up.
Yeah, different rhythm. Yeah. Let's say you had like 12 people.
Thank you for your.
Yeah.
It was good. I mean, I was worried that I was gonna like not know what to say. I'm gonna be like, just get ready, like, home and stuff, like sleeping, preparing properties. Because there's one little teacher who wants to sell his house. So, fine, this is consultation. Like, I was thinking, I actually was there in the first one, but I'm wondering what, yeah. It's like two different transactions, so it's not really, I'm just working for one person. So, we can take things we work. On it. Oh, yeah. Work for both of us.
But, so if you wanna see, Sally, I think you want to move right after that.
Yeah, just the tricky thing is, he doesn't want to move or like, unless we have like a house, I'm sure he's gonna want lockdown. So it's like, so we can't get good, but it's like, we kind of have to get this spot, the selling process ready for the house that he has right now. So Lamar said, yeah, we're gonna meet again. Lamar said we're gonna focus on. And then from there, he said that he sort of like, he's okay with kind of being in the air for a couple months. He doesn't want to express her. He's also with that. He's like, this thing. So I'm not totally straight. Or would you be comfortable for sitting where you are? It's like, he wants like a house under $1 million in both forms. That's fine. I guess. So. I gotta see.
You want the house in torn under and he said it's not.
We wanted to say that, but Lamar's like, would you want to disrupt her? It's not really. Would you want like, from the community? He's like, I'm in the community now, and like, and all that stuff. And then he's like, okay, so that would be hard. Yeah, especially if it's not like a house that needs work. He wants to have that moving right. Yeah, it's like, they like kitchen front, like, I don't want to have to do this construction, also have 2 different boards, so there's a lot of areas. But, I don't know if it's gonna be anything, because, I'm just setting up the next proceeding in one house. It's not like this, right? It's like, I don't know. Because it's really key because when it comes to the house, I don't see sort of here, or here on the leaves. Just need to have my bedrooms and kids and. They think Carson, the school district wants his kids in, his influence. School district, whatever. And then the front points, I guess, they initially really, he bought. He's like, this house, I'm looking for, kids, so he wants, he also doesn't like the community. I guess those entities kind of are, it's like. That's all I heard. To be honest, when we had this talk, I mentioned that there was so much that going on. Now I'm just like taking notes. I'll mention that tomorrow. I'm sure you'll talk about it. 10:31.
It's 10,000 times. You know, my small ones, I'll take that. I'll take that, you know, in the market that I grew up in. So, that's a good thing, so, you know, I'll reach out to the example of that, there's one on that.
I hope whatever's going on with you too, Brian,
Yeah, but she's like, it's a lot when I'm trying to shit, it's so hard to see. You know, she's like, answer and you'll be the answer, there's no answer, there's just so many people.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm gonna see, it's like, they're always.
Right the property, because of money. It's not. You have like.
Question, like, when does he sign something that says, I'm just like, maybe it says. Yeah, but I know he's not looking at it. Found me, but he's my teacher, I kind of have, so like, I know him pretty well. Last year, but I'm like, when it was like, and the more I'm kind of like, I do stuff all the time without being, you know, but then that, and I'm like, no, I want to say that I'm working with you. That's what I told him. Yeah, but also not everyone's gonna be like that, but I think the marketing thing is very circumstantial. And I know sales can be, but like, it's up to us, I want to say, so.
You can use that.
Yeah. People more, it's just after this. It's like an actual consultation. And then from there, it's like, that's when you play the presentation. You know, I was like, okay, that's when signature. So, it's a lot of follow up. That's one of the. You also keep doing open house Mother's Day, so I got like 2 weeks of my mom's day.
There's no one.
Yeah, he wants someone there all the time. So I'm going all the day. The one in your hand? That one? Yeah. No, it's they only has. Oh, that's all. Yeah. It wasn't an open house, it was an inspection actually. So it's another. Client. But. Yeah, that was so creepy. I live like right near this. So I guess the renter is living there, and the people trying to sell the house, their dad is. Yeah, and it's the renters, you know. He would come in, and then when I went in, there was like some kid, like my 22. It looked like I was young. Well, naturally, I'm like, I'm gonna hang outside with the termite. And he was like, I can sign this. Wait. So I was like, I'm just gonna mark this termite. It was weird. And it was foundation pipe. And then the march of the. It was steep, but then it's more, I was like, nice. With this thing, it's getting red here, probably not realizing. It's like, we're 4 bands, well, something like that. The termite is coming over the same, this place, the best termites that he never seen in person during my business. Because he knows I was figure out what's going on. This one is sell most likely. Like, I'm trying to figure out. So then it's the old neighbor chair in the house, like, it's like, type. It's even the purpose more sexual, you know? I guess it's what's thinking behind it, but I guess the old man's running out. But it gets, it's like a bedroom. I think he rents out, and also 2 back houses, they have locks on it, so. I guess my parents, I was like, hey, like, I was this a weird house right now. Yeah, I mean, all the. The one. Yeah. I have no idea. And that's what he was reading. It was weird. The boy, I don't know. He was a local. He had a boss here. He was sitting, he's like, oh, they don't see this house, like, they don't have it down, I think the rent. Like, you should talk. Yes, yeah. It's not a bad area either, like, it just, I thought maybe it's like, I think it's 8 or 7. He wasn't that, when I came here the first time, it was 40 degrees. So, I don't know, and then we went into the house. Oh, it's falls. You're too big, everything's here. And in the back of the sheds, a bunch of animals, pretty open. A bunch of weird ass ones. Weird. The first time I got, I'm not even gonna expect. Wait, what? The shack shed, it wasn't on any kind of. So the marking and the carpets up there, it's just concrete. Under the house, there's no like actual foundation. And the guy was like, I'm not doing that. It's not, well, I'm not so serious. It was like, oh, but like, the more. I would think so, but China guys are gonna do foundation, it's all the foundation. But those houses over there, it's like you would never think a house like that. Like, yeah, the files and it's. That was very big, so. That's why, like, I can't get anything out of this, I just quickly, like, when he tells you, like, I mean, like, that's the area I'm trying to. Farm in, so I was like, if you're in the area for sure, I can't see here, over there. Yeah. So I like going with this book. And I was just sitting there, looking on this. I need more information. I was like, I didn't know that was the printer, I thought it was the seller. You come to me asking like. This house has been selling, yeah, it's worth a lot. I like wasn't to say all that. I'm great. Good, how are you? No. They do. Should I stop share?
Yeah, we should, I don't know how to do it.
Stop